manager with us. A frustrating afternoon, I'd have thought.
Yeah, to say the least. Yeah, I mean that was the biggest thing that we spoke about afterwards, just frustration. Errors that certainly in the first part of the season, in terms of the games that we've played so far, that we really haven't come to see us, make. I think the killer is we concede the equaliser within 60 seconds, and then obviously a lapse in concentration and a bad decision by one of the senior players in the team that you probably wouldn't really expect to make. Makes it difficult because obviously then you're up against a side that know how to defend deep, and obviously you got into that low block with the 5 defenders and made it difficult for us.
And one thing from the first half was the McGrandles challenge on the corner of the box. A thought on it?
Well, it was a penalty, wasn't it? It's there's no ifs and buts. And the frustration, and this is football, so you just hope it comes your way the following week, that the actual penalty they got, the contact's outside the box and he obviously jumps into the box. So it was just one of those days today in terms of, I suppose they got the rub of the green with the decisions, but it's still, as a team, we can do better. And I think the amount of times we were in the final third and that final pass let us down, it was either overhit or the wrong choice. They're the things that we can improve on.
It felt like there was better pace to the game in the second half.
Well, the urgency and the speed of pass was better, there's no doubt about it. I think the switch of play, when you're playing up against a 5, we can do that a bit better. But I can't fault the players, we're 10 games in all competitions, and to have 8 wins out of 10, and be in a position where we win 4 out of 5 league games, it's difficult to be too critical of players. The reality is that we have overachieved in terms of the games so far, but I still think we've got a group that every single week you'll see will be really competitive.
10 games in, you got a centre half on 6 goals.
Yeah, no, obviously pleasing for him. Having said that, within 60 seconds we're conceding in our 6-yard box, and that's the most important thing, making sure we defend the goal. But he'll do that, there's no doubt about it. Collectively will certainly be good for this game, I think. Yeah, in terms of the way it panned out in the end, I think it'll help us, believe it or not. Hopefully we won't make the same sort of errors that we have done today after sort of going ahead. But yeah, Lewis is making a bit of a name himself as a goal scorer.
I just wonder though, Lewis has to come off with his injury, and he was still coming back on, really sorting himself out. It was a great goal for Bristol, no doubt. The 2 Bristol players collide and they both stay on. It didn't seem consistent.
No, I think there was a lot of things that were inconsistent today. I've already mentioned the penalties, but I'm definitely not going to make excuses. I think in terms of performance levels, I think if your performance levels are where you'd expect to be, you won't be far away. And I think we were just a little bit below it today. Thought the effort and application was good. But I have to say, we got into the final third so many times that little pass would have opened them up, and we just picked the wrong choice or overhit the pass at times, where in the first 4 league games as well as the cup games we haven't done that. Yeah,
a rarity this season, but I mean I think it was only 3 attempts on target in the game from your team, which, considering you had 60% possession, was against what we've seen from the team most of the season.
Yeah, and to be fair, that's why I say it every week, possession means absolutely nothing. It's what you do with possession that is the most important thing. You can have 80% of possession, but the reality is if you pass square and don't really hurt the opposition and don't get in behind the opposition. The only thing that definitely could have improved from our point of view is to pass the ball a bit quicker and switch the play quicker, because like I say, as soon as they go 2-1 up, you know what's going to happen. They drop into a 5 and say, come and beat us, and we can put crosses into the box, but they've got 3 big centre halves who can deal with it. And it just goes to show, obviously we've gone down to 10 men, and it looked like obviously we were the ones with 11 players on the pitch. So yeah, very frustrating afternoon. But if you would have said to me 5 games in, 12 points on the board, I definitely would have snapped your hands off, because that's way ahead of what we thought we'd be at this stage.
A couple of final questions. Sending off, it felt like there was a couple of yellow cards in there. Did you agree?
Oh no, it was stupidity. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think obviously the only thing that surprises me is that it's one of our experienced players. I can probably sort of understand one of the young players doing that out of frustration and, you know, a little bit of a grievance, so to speak, but you certainly don't really expect that from your senior players.
And just on TJ's substitution, was that tactical or is there an injury?
No, just tactical. Just felt we needed to get more impetus down that side, and obviously, you know, with Harry, he has got that marauding side to his game that I knew we might need certainly later on in the game, so yeah, just very much tactical.
So like you said, a brief defeat after such a great start to the season. You've got a full week now before the game against Fleetwood. We have,
yeah, and you know, if you think about it, we've passed a lot of tests in games in terms of going behind in games, and when teams have equalised, we've gone ahead and scored. So this is the real sort of first disappointment that we've had to feel as a group, if you take the Liverpool game out of it. So it's a good test for us next week. Obviously they got a great result, as we know, last night against a good side, so I think, you know, come Saturday the lads will be chomping at the bit, and but we know we're going into a really difficult period now, as everybody is. The next 4 to 5 weeks is pretty much a game every 3 or 4 days.
Michael, thank you.